me ask you, we are entering into political season, and however much you go blue in the face denying it, every time there's an election, there is a propensity to reduce either taxes or prices one way or another. And we are entering into political election season. One round of election of 5 states happening in November, December. That is, and one round of Lok Sabha elections. That is, of course, notwithstanding the special session of Parliament and all the speculation, ke jaldi ho jayenge election, this, that and the other, all that is still in the air. Have you been able to negotiate even better deals with Saudi? With Saudi?
Look, first of all.
Because aapko ghatane to padenge na prices.
Insofar as elections are concerned,
आप कहते हो दूसरों को के फ्रीबीज मत दो, पर आप भी तभी इलेक्शन के टाइम देते हो.
नहीं, that's not correct. Insofar as elections are concerned, till you get one country, one poll, and I don't know when we will come to that position. We have a situation where you have elections every year. You are only talking about the 5 states which are elections are coming now. Why did you, madam, leave out the 2 states where we had them? Himachal and Karnataka. Agar wo election related reductions hain, then we should have had a reduction then. Let me tell you very simply, the explanation lies elsewhere. Government's capacity, any government, I'm not talking about any government's capacity to reduce prices or have the market reduce prices on fuel or energy is directly dependent on to what extent it is dependent on the global marketplace. If you have a 80-85% dependent on imports, for imports crude oil, then the world market price will dictate what it is.
But for a long time, when prices were low, and that's the criticism you've heard several times, for a long time when world prices were low, when your government came to power in 2014 onwards, you haven't really increased or rather decreased the prices at home, because you've used the explanation that we are building infrastructure, this, that and the other, but every election you do find some scope for a little bit of reduction, and that charge will remain against any government.
The precise period that you refer to, madam, and I'm talking I think about 2021 and 21-22, that precise period is the period when you were also supplying, and you continue to supply, 80 crore people free 3 meals of dry ration in a day, one. It's also the period when the world prices were shooting up, in our neighborhood 70-80%, 50-60%, US 35-40%, Canada 40%, Europe 28-30%, your prices came down by 5%. So to say that we have not passed on the benefit of the revenue earned is absurd, because you did. I'm giving you the example. Forget building roads, that's an entirely different area. Petrol ka 5% kam hui hai, and diesel also 0.2% it has come down. Now, if your question is elections are coming, can I bring them down further? Be my guest, I'll answer it in a very candid way. If global situation, today prices are around $90 a barrel. We were able to do it when they were 75, 80. If they remain over $90 a barrel, I'll make 2 predictions to you. One is the fragile recovery at the global level, when large countries, including in East Asia, I use the word East Asia very carefully, not one country, 2 of the largest economies in East Asia, Europe, 2 or 3 of the large economies in the world, United States, when they are dealing with the problem of excess liquidity and inflation in the marketplace, if prices go way beyond $90, you will be doing the tipping point, you will be reaching the big R situation. Then prices will come down. Because demand will fall if there is very high prices on top of that. Who takes the decisions on this? India may have a voice, it has a strong voice, but ultimately if the producers cut production, my expectation, again, maybe that's the Punjabi optimist in me, I think people will see reason. If prices are tempered going forward the next 6 months, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, you can hope to have reasonable recoveries. If not, I'm afraid we will again be back into that spiral. You know, a few weeks ago, when you looked at the pink papers out of Europe, they would talk talk about recessionary conditions. What is a recessionary condition? Quarter on quarter, there's bare growth quarter on quarter. And if it slips one night, then you are technically in a recession. I continue to be an optimist. Saudi Arabia, the countries of the Middle East, UAE, all of them will sell oil to India. The question is, they say they don't determine the price. They only determine the quantity that they release. If there are production cuts, well, if there are production cuts and demand falls, it's a different situation. But if there are production cuts and demand goes up, then even a $1 price can make a lot of difference in terms of what the cost to your exchequer is.
Absolutely. So